Video game deaths aren't a new concept. Main characters in video games have been dropping left and right ever since the electronic medium was invented. Whether you're getting blasted in a hail of bullets, getting touched by a ghost, or falling into a pit of spikes, video game deaths are something we've become accustomed to. But over the years, with the advancements of graphical technology, game designers can let their imaginations run wild, allowing them to twist, break, smash, decapitate, and disembowel characters in ways never seen before. Today, we take a look at the top 5 most brutal video game deaths. Couple of ground rules first. This list will only include characters that you can play in the game, and no games with an adult-only rating. Also, we won't be touching on any Mortal Kombat characters because they would easily dominate this list. If you can't stand the sight of someone getting eviscerated by a chainsaw, then this is probably not the video you need to be watching. And of course, when talking about deaths of main characters, there's bound to be some spoilers. You've been warned. Lara Croft first bounced her bountiful polygon boobies onto the scene in 1996 in the game Tomb Raider. Anybody going inside of dark and clammy, creature-filled caverns will run into some obstacles. Lara has had quite a few setbacks over the years, and fans have enjoyed seeing her get run over by boulders or being mangled by a T-Rex. Since the recent 2013 reboot of the character, the game's developers have come up with new and excruciating ways of showing how Lara meets her end. She's been crushed, choked, and even impaled. In the more recent follow-up, Rise of the Tomb Raider, she gets even crazier treatment. I mean, look at this stuff. God. The worst one of all of the deaths is the pitfall scene. Not only was her brain punctured, but also her liver and left leg. But admit it, you're letting her die on purpose. The game gives you so much time to perform those QuickTime events, you have no excuse as to why you let her get mauled by that bear. This is probably one of the only games where the player intentionally tries to get killed just to see what the sick and twisted minds of Crystal Dynamics have come up with. Oh, Leon, you silly, silly man. Don't just stand there in front of homicidal death cultists. Capcom's survival horror third-person shooter Resident Evil 4 hit the market in early 2005, inducing nightmares in its wake ever since. In the game, your mission is to rescue the daughter of the President of the United States. Can you do it? Sure you can. Will it be easy? Hell no. Not if you're fighting your way through a mindless Spanish cult that worships Los Iluminados and will stop at nothing to take your head off. Literally. Lots of people think that the chainsaw decapitation scenes are the worst, but I submit to you the horrifying amalgamation of human, insect, and reptile known as U3. This parasite-hosting Cracoscorpion loves to chop old Leon in half. What a way to go. Not only are you being stalked by this relentless little rascal, but for a few lasting moments, you have to watch as he lifts up your lower body, pulling at your entrails like mozzarella on a freshly baked pizza pie. Mamma mia! Man, oh man, there is no doubt about it, if you play The Evil Within, 2 things are guaranteed to happen. 1, you will squirt 0.3 ounces of urine during the game, and 2, you will die. This third-person psychological survival horror will have you on the edge of your seat, uneasily anticipating the next death scene. The main character, Sebastian, has to maneuver through some of the most diabolical death traps I've ever seen. I mean, who comes up with this stuff? I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I never actually finished this game. Not because I'm scared or anything, it's just because I'm busy with other stuff, yeah. Okay, so let me tell you about the most brutal death in the game that I encountered before turning it off. Enter the Keeper. I call him Safehead, because of obvious reasons. He's a tall, humanoid butcher with a humongous meat tenderizer in one hand and a sack full of his victim's brains in the other. If Sebastian manages to step in one of those barbed wire snare traps, it's curtains. Old Boxhead will be lurking nearby, waiting to skewer your face with the back of his hammer before scooting you off to the barbecue. A lot of people have been comparing this game to Resident Evil 4, which is fitting because the director of this game, Shinji Mikami, is also the director of Resident Evil 4 and the creator of Resident Evil. If you folks are brave enough to play this one alone, make sure you have a change of underwear handy. Nowadays, when watching those old westerns of people getting shot in the belly and then falling off the top of a saloon, you won't even bat an eye. That type of violence is tame compared to modern standards. But let's be clear, shooting someone in major vital organs will most definitely kill them. So if getting shot in the pancreas is a painful way to go, imagine getting shot by multiple bullets from multiple assailants all at the same time. Well, that's exactly how John Marston went out. Oh, come on, the game is 5+ years old, and I told you there would be spoilers. At the end of Red Dead Redemption, redemption, Big John took his final stand at his homestead. After sending off his wife and son in hopes of keeping them safe, he walks through the door and starts targeting a crapload of baddies. At first you're like, oh man, I might have a chance at this thing. But alas, after taking out a couple of folks with your Deadeye ability, you get hit with a bevy of streaming old-timey bullets. Being the badass that he is, after getting riddled with gunfire, he just stands there, coughing and wheezing blood through what's left of his lungs. This dude gets hit with like 50 bullets and he's like,
"You think you can take me? You need a fucking army, you're gonna take me!"
The phrase that comes to mind when you're playing the game Outlast is pulse-pounding terror. In the story, you play as Miles, a freelance investigative reporter exploring a dilapidated psychiatric ward overrun by homicidal patients. So what does he have to defend himself? A notebook and a camcorder. Wow. Combat is not possible, as any confrontation with enemies will result in instant death, and there are plenty of ways for Miles to die in this game. As you're making your way around the asylum, you will, on more than one occasion, have to run for your freaking life. One guy that you have to flee from is Chris Walker, a massive, hulking psychopath that roams the corridors of the hospital, killing personnel and patients. This dude ripped the skin off of his own forehead and his entire nose in order to achieve a truer vision. If this behemoth is chasing you and manages to catch up with you, he'll grab you by the chin and rip your head clean off of your body with his bare hands. What's even more disturbing about this scene is the fact that you can actually see him holding your body in his hand while your eyes slowly start to fade. You're actually alive just long enough to see your body being ripped to pieces. Charming. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe to this channel for more Top 5.